And conducting this morning's meeting, which I call to order at 9 a.m. In accordance with the live streaming law, this meeting is conducted via video conference and live streamed on the MDTA Capital Committee page. As a reminder, all members of the Capital Committee will have their video active during the entirety of the meeting. I will note that Member Cox is on via telephone due to technical difficulties. Do ask that to minimize background noise during the call, that everyone on the line, please mute your phones, computers, tablets, what have you. And if you're presenting or answering a question, please have your video on and audio on when speaking. And when done, with the exception of our members, please turn off your video and mute your audio. Today, there are no members of the public, no elected officials, and no media that have pre-registered to comment, so we can move on to item number 1, which is approval of the open meeting minutes of May 1st, 2025. I will entertain a motion.
So
Motion
moved.
to approve?
Give it to Maricela
Yes.
for the motion, and I need a second, which
Member
I
Cox,
guess
I'll second.
Member Cox. All right, Member Cox seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All right, that was all of us. Okay, now Jennifer is going to give us the draft CTP, the 2026-2031, with some changes over the last few days. So go ahead, Jennifer. It's good to see you.
All right. Thank you. Sorry about those changes.
That's okay.
Good morning, and for the record, my name is Jennifer Stump, and I'm the Assistant Capital Program Manager. Today, I'm presenting the proposed fiscal year 26-31 draft CTP and seeking your recommendation for approval to the full board on June 26th. This will also be presented to the Finance and Administration Committee on June 12th. For the proposed 6-year fiscal year 26-31 draft CTP is $5.1 billion. This reflects a net increase of $144.8 million as seen in attachment 1, line 7. The net increase is a result of the following. An increase in the 6-year CTP budget by $112 million for the Francis Scott Key Bridge as seen on line 1. Please note that the budget reflects the original cost estimate that was prepared for the FSK bridge rebuild within 2 weeks of the bridge collapse. The cost estimate will be updated prior to the next MDTA bond sale. A decrease in the 6-year CTP budget by $9.4 million for the Nice Middleton Bridge as seen on line 2. A decrease in the 6-year CTP budget by $12.2 million for the I-95 ETL Northern Extension as seen on line 3. An increase in the 6-year CTP budget by $109.9 million for all projects except the Key Bridge, Nice Middleton Bridge, I-95 ETL Northern Extension, and the reserves as reflected on line 4. And a decrease in the allocated and unallocated reserves by $55.4 million as seen on line 5. The fiscal year 2025 expenditures were $584.6 million versus the $765.5 million budgeted in the fiscal year 25 to 30 final CTP. The fiscal year 25 underspending was $180.9 million and has been rolled over into the draft CTP. Highlights of project and reserve changes are shown in attachment 2. For new projects, we added 8 system preservation projects and 1 environmental project for a net increase of $53.9 million in the fiscal year 26 to 31 period. For projects, with their modified budgets to reflect bids received, we adjusted 1 project to reflect a bid received lower than the engineer's estimate for a decrease of $681,000 in the total cost of the project and a net increase of $1.9 million in the fiscal year 26 to 31 period. For added construction phases, we added the construction phase of 4 projects, which were funded for a total of $33.2 million, transferred from the reserves as design reached 60%, and cost estimates were developed on fully developed scopes. For modified budgets to reflect completed projects, we had 6 projects that were completed or deleted for a net decrease of $828,000 in the fiscal year 26 to 31 period. For modified projects due to cost changes or cash flow adjustments, we adjusted the cash flows and funded changes in engineering and/or construction budgets for 73 projects for a net budget increase of $112.1 million in the fiscal year 26 to 31 period. And for the reserve changes, the allocated reserves had a net decrease of $56.3 million, and the unallocated reserves increased by $899,000 for a net decrease of $55.4 million in the fiscal year 26 to 31 period. On attachment 3, it details where the projects are by facility. 34.8% at the Key Bridge, 16.5% at the William Preston Lane Memorial Bridge, 16.4% at Kennedy Highway, 11.2% are multi-area projects, 10.7% are at the Fort McHenry Tunnel, 8% are at the Baltimore Harbor Tunnel, 2% are at the ICC, the Inter-County Connector, and less than 1% each are at the Hayden Bridge and the Nice Bridge. And attachment 4 details the projects by their category. So 37.3% in bridge replacements, 22.1% in structure preservation, 16.8% in safety and capacity improvements, 8.5% in highway preservation, 4% in tunnel preservation, 4% in campus facility improvements, 2.7% in enhancements, 2.4% in campus facility preservation, 1% in environmental, and less than 1% in unallocated reserves. That concludes this presentation. And again, we're seeking your recommendation for approval to take to the board.
Does anybody have questions for Ms. Stump? Let's quiz her hard.
I do have a question.
I have one.
Oh,
Go ahead, Maricela, you go first.
Okay. So on the FY 2025 expenditures, it says we're $584.6 million versus $765.5 million, and the underspending in FY 25 was $180.9 million and has been rolled over into the draft FY 2026 to 31 CTP. Is this based on any critical delays on specific projects, or is there just late billing, or what would be the cause of this underspending?
As we have presented on our quarterly spending, the Key Bridge rebuild project has been very behind in receiving billing and invoices from some of the contractors, and so that has been a big cause of that. Additionally, we had, what's the name of it? The Bay Bridge Eastbound Re-decking project had a large portion of the scope changed to phase 2, and that also had moved money out.
Okay, it's part of that then. Thank you.
Great question. Thank you for asking that. Sam, you had some questions, I think.
Oh, it was related to Marisol's question. I was just trying to figure out what the trigger point was for when a CTP amendment would be made, if there's change, like a drastic change in project cost.
The CTP total for the 6-year would stay the same up until we would get to the final, and then any kind of major changes would be presented for approval with the final CTP in the fall.
Which is why we do them every year anyways. That makes sense.
Mr. Chairman, that's exactly what I was going to follow up on those questions. Obviously, with the CTP, when it finally goes to General Assembly and they start the tour, that's when the final will be done, correct, Jennifer?
Yes, after that.
Right.
Great. Any further? Bruce, got your hand raised, so I assume you want to pipe in.
Just wanted to say that's, consistent with how all the MDOT modal agencies treat, you really just do amendments in the first and third quarter or major changes as indicated by Member Cox in his, the General Assembly. That's it.
Great.
Thank you.
Good discussion. Any further questions or comments or a motion for conditional approval? Conditional in that we have to have the full board approve it.
Member Cox, I move your approval.
Okay, so we got a motion. Member Cox, need a second?
Sure, I'll second. Member Cordova.
Second.
I had another follow-up question, but that's okay. It's been.
No. This is discussion
right.
time. Perfect. Discussion time. Go ahead, ask your question.
I was just going to follow up with the adjusted cash flows and funded changes in engineering and construction budgets line item for 73 projects for a net budget increase of 112 million. And I was just going to ask if that was part also of the same item, the Key Bridge item, or is this due to escalation or what is going on with that line item as well?
I mean, there's 73 projects that had changes, and sometimes they're just cash flow changes where the project budget itself did not increase, but when money changed from fiscal year 25 into the 6-year, that increased the 6-year budget because money moved out of 25, which is not part of the 6-year budget.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Any further? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, that was all of us. Great, thank you. Next, I think we have Min talking to us about Baltimore Harbor Tunnel, the maintenance and auto building HVAC and roof replacement, which is HT 3019-0000.
Hey,
Min, you are up.
Chairman.
No, you're on. Good morning.
Yeah.
We haven't seen you in a while, so it's good to see you.
Yeah, we have been quiet. This is Min Zhen, MDTA Engineering Facilities Project Design Manager. So today I'm going to present contract HT 3019, the Baltimore Harbor Tunnel Maintenance Auto Building HVAC System and the Roof Replacement. The scope of this project includes, number 1, replacement of the entire building HVAC system. Number 2, upgrades of the entire roofing system, which includes to remove and replace the existing membrane roof and to repair and refinish the existing metal roof. Number 3, upgrades of interior building elements that are impacted by the HVAC equipment replacement. This contract was advertised on November 19, 2024, and the bids opening was March 21st, 2025. The anticipated construction NTP is this coming August, and the construction duration is 730 calendar days. The engineer estimate for this contract was $6,230,700. We received a total of 4 bids. The low bid goes to Fresh Air Concepts with a bid amount of $5,330,000, which is 14% lower than the engineer estimate. The contract is 100% funded by the toll revenue. There is bid protest received from the third bidder against the low bid and the second low bid, which was officially responded by our civil rights and fair practices. The protest against the low bid was denied. Since the responsive low bid is within 50% of the engineer estimate, so the bid justification will not be needed for this contract. The overall MB goal for this contract is 24% with sub-goals. The VSB goal is 1%. The goals submitted by the low bid to MDTA meets these requirements, and their MBE forms and their MBE plans are pending approval by MDTA Civil Rights and Fair Practices. Fresh Air Concepts has worked with MDTA in the past on several projects of similar scopes. It has also performed similar work as identified in this HT 3019 FB book with other school systems, private companies, and government agencies. We also received favorite responses from the contractor's experience questionnaire reference list. We thus are recommending a contingent approval from the capital committee to present this contract to the full board for award to Fresh Air Concepts. Thank you for your time, and we'll be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Great, thank
Mr.
you
Chairman,
very much.
Mr. Chairman,
Go
I have
ahead.
a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Cox.
You said obviously that they've done work for MDTA prior to this contract being awarded, and what has been the experience of this contractor?
Oh yeah, they have been working with two of our maintenance facility for the HVAC replace job, so it's very similar scopes, and yeah, they meet the job requirement very good based from our construction's feedback. So they meet the construction deadline with reasonable budget control. Yeah, so we have a very good favorite feedback from the construction regarding. Yeah.
Very good, because I can see with obviously with 14% under engineer's budget, I mean,
Yes.
that's a good thing, other than what we've been seeing in some other contracts.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you, Mr.
company by
Chairman.
itself is a, yeah, thanks.
Yep, great. Any other questions or a motion for contingent approval? Go
I
ahead.
have a
Member
two-part
Steve.
question. It's a two-part question. First, how often do these have to occur? And the second is, this project, will it extend the useful life more than the past time this had to be done?
So you broke up, but what I think the first question was, how often do we have to do something like this? Like maybe the question is, when was the last time we did it on this particular building? And are we replacing or maintaining, just to get an extension of life? And is it worth doing that? I think I got that out of the breakup.
Yes, that's a good question. So normally for the building components, we have a life cycle for different parts. Like the roof by itself is around 20 years. We need to replace those. And for the HVAC things is additional 5 years maybe. It depends on really how the system operates in the past. So we, after we repair them, we kept and maintain those until at a certain point they reach to the life cycle, and then it doesn't work to repair them further. Then that's the point that we need to think about the replacement, the whole thing. And this is the building in that situation.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And we're getting the full scope out of this bid, even if it's 14% lower than the engineer's estimate?
Yes. I think, yeah, I didn't mention that because the contractor, the low bid, is the HVAC company. So they have their own working resource, supply chain. So they give them the price benefit, I would think. Yes, and we did confirm with them, they will, yeah, perform the full scope.
Okay, great, thank you.
Great, thank you. Good questions. Any further questions or in motion for contingent approval?
Motion for contingent approval.
Okay, Maricela motions and members need seconds. He pulled up the 2 to make sure he got in there. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that is everybody. Well, thank you very much. Good couple of discussions here. Everybody have a fantastic weekend and be safe. I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn, Member Cordova.
Maricela motion. I need a second.
I'll second it. Sam's asleep. I'll second it. No problem.
Member Cox seconded. I'm sure there's no further discussion. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All right.